Hey there, fellow NAC warriors. Today we're going to be talking about where on earth are the healthiest places to live and why that's important. My name is Angelo, and I am dedicated to helping you be successful on your health and fitness journey. If you haven't already signed up to NAC Warriors Facebook group, please do so. The description is below. All right, let's get started. The other day, I was going through my the internet, and a question came up saying, "Hey, where if you could live anywhere, where would you want to live?" And that's a typical question, right? That people get. And so I thought about that. But before I did, you know me, my mind likes to kind of wander around. And the first question that I guess I got a flashback that said went back to when I was younger. I had the privilege because my father's side of the family lived in Sicily. And so during the summer, especially during college, I was able to go over there and live there for 3 months. And then when school started, I come back. And so I was able to experience a whole different culture. Currently, I actually work for a global company that requires me to travel sometimes. So between that, I've been able to get some exposure to different cultures, and working with different cultures. Um, you get an appreciation for how different people live their lives, and it's pretty cool. And I would say if you are able to have the ability to go out there and experience a different culture, I know it's financially hard for some people, but if you ever get the opportunity, it's a really cool thing to do, especially if you have kids, to let them see the different cultures, because sometimes we just in the US, I live in the US, sometimes you just don't know how good you have it until you go to these other areas. I'm not saying the US is perfect, but compared to some of these other countries, um, I have to say Sicily was pretty cool, and Germany and all these other countries were pretty cool, but there are definitely parts of the world that are, not as fortunate as us. So it can humble you. But after I got done reminiscing that, I moved over to the actual question, which is, where in the world would I want to live? And I have to say, I love the US. It's my home. I will always stay here. I guess the only thing I would change would be to live in a warmer area, because here in New England, it gets really cold, too cold for me. But if I were to be able to live in other countries, and what I like to call like float living, like if I could work, it would be based on seasons. So like during summer and fall, I love New England. New England's the best in my opinion, maybe because I grew up here and I'm kind of biased, but New England is the best when it comes to summer and fall. But moving to winter and spring, I'm out of here. And if I could float live, like meaning live in these two different other countries I have on my mind, during spring and winter, it would be Japan and Italy. Because Sicily, I've been there so many times. I really love the culture there. They have a very relaxed culture. At least, who knows? It could have changed by now. But when I was out there last, it was a really beautiful culture. And I'm infatuated with the Asian culture. So Japan was number one on my list of um, countries I'd love to visit. So those were the two that I came up with. But then, being the health and fitness side of things, I said, I wonder how all these countries match up when it comes to health ratings. Like, which countries are the best around the globe? And would you have it that the two countries that I love to float live, I call it, Italy and Japan, were on the top 10 according to this one website. Now, if I pull up my phone, there was like this criteria that they came up with. What was it? It was life expectancy, availability of health insurance, cost of healthy eating, and levels of air pollution, obesity, and crime. So those were the criteria that they ranked them on. And US fell around 35. So I didn't do pretty bad if I could live in different things. But it's important, our environment, right? Because especially this one here that caught my eye, air pollution. we don't think about it much, especially if you live in a country that doesn't have bad air. Like living in New England, I pretty much have good air. So I don't really think about it. But when that came up, I was like, oh, yeah, I guess that would be a problem for some people. But our environment can really have an impact on our health and fitness, whether it be the air pollution. The country that you live in could have like really high obesity because the companies and the things that they promote, oh, want us to be. I don't want to say they want us to be obese, but the foods that they want us to get addicted to and buying is more leaning towards being obese, and it might be more expensive to actually buy healthy foods compared to, I guess, some other countries. So that's a factor. Even your own like circle of influence could be a factor. That environment could have a factor on your health and fitness. So it's important to think about your environment because that could be. Now, I'm not saying go out there and just pack up and leave the country you're in if it's in a lower rank, but definitely something to consider for your overall health and fitness. Okay, but you know what I'm curious about? I want to learn more about you, NAC Warriors. I want to learn more about you. So you now know I live in the US. It's ranked about 35. The three countries I'd love to go like sort of float live would be US, Italy, and Japan. And you saw that Japan ranked number 1 on this website and 10th for Italy, and US around 35. I'd be curious if you go to our Facebook group. If you haven't joined our NAC Warrior Facebook group yet, you have to do that. Go down to the description of this video and you'll see a link to our Facebook group. Please sign up to that. And once you go in there, say hi, but I want you to answer these questions if you could. Number 1, what country do you live in and how does that rank? Now, I don't care what necessarily website you use to find the ranking. I'm just curious what your where are you from and where does that rank amongst the other countries based on the website that you look at. Then I want you to tell me the 3 other countries or the 3 countries you would love to float live and how did they rank? And that would be something fun to do, and I'd be curious how that works for you. So today we're keeping it simple. I think I'm getting closer to the 12 o'clock and getting around the 5 minutes, which is what I've been trying to do. And so with that, I hope you have a good rest of your day, and please remember to unleash that inner warrior. I'll see you tomorrow.